if this man ain't no good and he's doing all this and that, girl, fuck him. Okay? Literally, they were shocked and gagged and gooped.
Y'all really did your research on Mia because I love them both.
God, girl. What's going on there?
Why are you crying? We're here. We're celebrating. Everybody get up. Shout for their life.
And you better talk about it. Baby, tonight, the night, I'll let you know.
Marry me already.
All right, Sharon. I'm very excited for this because, we're going to get into some things today, okay? We're listening to some voicemails submitted by listeners, and, we never hold back. So with our advice, just take it or leave it. We ain't pressing up on you, but we're going to do the best we can. And if you want some help figuring out your own sticky situation, leave us a voicemail at 650-549-KEKE. That's 5353. And with that being said, let's get into the first voicemail.
Hi, Keke girl. So my name is Quinette, and I have a question for you about relationships. I want to find the perfect person for me, and I feel like I started out by doing that by going to do the things I love, right? Everyone says go do your hobbies. So I went and I did my little pottery class, making some vases. It's really cute. Where are the men? I'm not finding them. So I guess my question for you is, how do I find someone who is right for me, someone who is not trying to find, be up in the clubs and stay out till 3 a.m. Like that's great for some people. Just on me, not right now. How do I find that person without having to do the traditional, like, go to the bars and stuff like that? Any advice would be amazing. Love you, girl. Bye.
Okay, that's really hard. I think everybody in this generation has a hard time meeting people, especially if they don't want to do it like the online way or the typical, like, going to the bars way. In my opinion, it's like having new experiences. Maybe that's going to a house party or a friend's gathering. Maybe that's going to a Juneteenth, picnic. Maybe that's going and traveling to New Orleans for a weekend or going to one of those, college homecomings, where they have those kind of weekends. I think it's about getting into event space and lifestyle spaces, trying new things, going to the crawfish, down in LSA, that they have for LSU over in San Diego. I mean, I don't know what town you live in, but I think like going to concerts or going to experiential things where people can meet, talk, and have fun. Like in Chicago, we have the Taste of Chicago. Go out and experience and explore. Right. And I feel like you're bound to meet somebody.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I'm also going to say this, and it's probably not popular, and I think this is probably where you will see the generational gap or whatever, is I just really firmly believe that you have to take care of yourself. That you cannot be, it could be in your mind that I want to find someone to go to the movies with me. I don't want to go to the movies by myself. I totally get that. But I just honestly, firmly believe that you have to take care of yourself, that you have to do things to pamper yourself.
But you think a man's going to show up on your doorstep, legitimately?
No, I don't think a man's going to show up on your doorstep. But I think what happens, I think sometimes what happens is we're not ready for the man. Because we're not handling ourselves. I think there are many men that come into women's lives and they don't even see those men.
Sure.
Because they're not ready to see those men. Mm-hmm. They're stuck and preoccupied with who they think the man should be, when the man is probably sitting right in front of them. Mm-hmm. And they're not paying that any attention because they're not ready to pay it some attention. If you're stuck on that thing of, I can't date a short man, or I can't date a fat man, or I can't date a broke man, then you're already cutting or I can't date a white man or a black man, you're already cutting your opportunities short.
So you're saying that maybe she actually did see the man, but she didn't.
He might be in her life right now.
Yeah, she didn't recognizing him because okay. I mean, that's a big jump of an assumption, but maybe I think there is some truth to it. I'm not saying
for her. I don't know her. But I'm just saying I see that a lot with young women.
Right.
I'm just an older woman, 3 daughters, and I'm sitting back paying attention.
So your advice is focus on yourself, because if you work and focus on yourself, maybe you're going to put yourself at a different vibration.
Yes.
And that vibration is going to open you up to a different type of guy.
Different things, yes. Because as a young person, I'm guilty of it as myself. I had a certain idea of the type of man that I wanted to be with. Sure. Yeah, everybody wanted to be with Fresh Prince. You know what I mean? Everybody wanted to date Blair Underwood and all these, people. But at the end of the day, are you going to meet these people? You know what I mean? Are you
Okay, now you're talking about standards
You know what I'm saying?
and
Yeah.
people having unrealistic expectations.
That's right.
I do think that it's weird that there's this big thing in our generation right now where everybody's like, I need a 6-figure. I just never understand that because
Right.
there's not that many. I mean, the economy is struggling.
That's right.
You know what I mean? There's not that many people that's living in a middle class lifeline.
right.
Why are we expecting people to be millionaires?
Right.
I just think that's kind of unfair. So I do think
Yeah.
that there's some unrealistic expectations.
Right.
Some
And-
people can't even order DoorDash,
Right.
let alone take
Right.
you on a
And-
5-star trip.
Right, and like again, we
Let's
do
get
not
real.
know what the specifics of this young lady. Basically, she just said,
She just asked a
give her
simple
some
question.
advice. And
Yeah,
we
where to
gave her
go to
some
meet
advice.
somebody.
I like what you told her, which was just keep at it. Go
Yeah,
to things.
and you told her
stuff.
focus on herself.
And I was like, focus on yourself because to
wonderful.
me, when you focus on yourself and you get all your ducks in a row, then you're able to, like you say,
Maybe go to another vibration. I mean, that
Right.
is true. I'm a person that believes in all the vibrations.
Right.
When you're on a positive standpoint, all of a sudden, all these different kind of doors open to you. So who knows? You know what I mean? Maybe the man has literally been walking right past her, but she's not in the right dimension.
That's right.
Let's go to the next voicemail.
Hey, Keke, what's up? This is Carl from New Jersey. I love you. I'm a huge fan. I wanted to get your take on something. Okay, so everyone is talking about this Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce relationship, and everyone's saying, oh, this is fake. It's just for PR. It's set up, And so I got to ask you, come on, you're a celebrity. You don't have to name any names, but does this actually happen? Like, do people actually, just get into these fake relationships where they're like, I don't really like you, you don't really like me, but let's just pretend to like each other and it'll be really good for both our careers. Like, does this actually happen? Thanks so much. Love listening and watching to your show. You're the best. Love you, Keke.
So I'm going to tackle the conceptual question, which is, do celebrities actually team up and make fake relationships? And I absolutely they do. But it's almost like how it is on reality TV where the human mind, even the slimiest person, can't actually believe that they're being slimy. Or I don't even want to say it's slimy, but they can't, people don't want to believe that they're being orchestrating things. They want to pretend like, oh, it's happening. Nobody wants to believe that they're being calculated, right?
Right.
Everybody wants to believe like this was genuine. No one really usually is like, I'm not authentic. So I think what ends up happening is people are so invested in their careers that they start not really living lives for themselves and start living life through the eyes of their brand. And so who they're attracted to is based off of what is good for their career. And then they find themselves in these relationships with people that they don't really like, that are just solely based on the fact that this person makes me look good and they're good for my brand and I'm getting a lot of, likes, endorsements, deals, etc. And so yes, I do think that happens. I also believe that it's easy to fall in love with people that you work with. So we look at situations like
Yes.
the High School Musical kids, you know what I mean? Or, The Notebook. I do think it's very easy to fall in love with someone that you are supposed to be falling in love with in
And
the
you
show.
see 'em every day.
And it's like,
Yeah.
this is a good look and this is how my life should be. The whole
Right.
Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears, like this is a good look. People buy into the concepts of who they are all the time.
Yeah.
So I don't think it always is malicious or this thought out thing where I think people online often think it's like a PR relationship. And the PR person really was like, so this is the thing. In 2022, we're going to have you date him and we're going to have him date you. This is going to make, it doesn't actually go like that. It's more so like, that would be a good look, girl.
Yeah. It's
That would be a good look.
publicists that are saying, hey,
And not even
I
just
know,
publicists.
I
Let's
know.
get out of
Yeah.
I feel like people online love a publicist line.
Right,
They
right.
love a marketing line.
Right.
Everybody it's not all the way like that.
Right, but
it's
it's
not,
the
the industry's not
teams.
like that. It's like
Right.
your friends. It could be your posse. It could be
Right.
anybody being in the club and like, he the kind of person you need to date. Now
Right.
that'll throw the kids off.
Right.
Or, people are just thinking about you
Has
living
there ever
for-
been anybody that people suggested that you date and you were like, really? Like your friends or somebody, you should date this person because, you guys would be great together. Is there anybody and you were like, oh, okay, or ignored it or whatever?
Tons of people wanted me to like. I'm not gonna sit up here and name those people. I'm not that kind of person. But absolutely, yeah, I don't think that's cute.
I won't name
I don't think that's cute. But there's tons of people that people used to push me to date. And I wasn't able to really
Right.
get down into it. You know what I
'Cause
mean?
that's
I
not
couldn't
who you
really
are,
like 'em.
right.
Yeah. Now, if it was somebody that I actually liked, then this is the thing about me. I am not that attracted to people in the industry at that level, right? People that are like, oh my gosh, I just don't want my whole life to be predicated on the industry. So the idea of dating somebody in the industry,
the whole industry,
yeah, but that doesn't mean that they're not nice people and people. And honestly, maybe I should lean more into it. I just never have, because I felt like, damn, I want my life to have some type of normalcy to it. I've been trying to cling to normalcy so much that I kind of have always avoided the person in the industry. I've met nice guys in the industry. Many of them like me. But I've always been like, are you using me for clout? Are you using... See, people assume celebrities should date together, and you should, they feel like other people are looking for clout, but celebrities looking for clout more than the average person.
Right.
Because it's
their life.
If they're going to if a celebrity's going to get with another celebrity, they're going to be getting with them because, do we match? Can we go and set the stage and set the scene together? There's not really, unless you really fall in love. Obviously, it happens. Celebrities, people in the industry, they fall in love all the time. But when people start doing that whole, we're out and about, and you're not going to be doing that unless you really feel like that person's adding to you on your business front. Right. You know what I mean? That's like saying I go to my 9-to-5 job and I'm bringing the person I'm dating with me because they make me look good. That's not that kind of, I know it's not that kind of job, but that's kind of how it becomes in our industry. Yeah. Some people see their relationships as an extension of their career.
Right.
And they're fine with that, and they love that, and so they're looking for that power partner, and they think that's cool. That's never been really my judge. I don't think there's no problem with it, but it's never really been my judge. So when I've been in those situations where people in the industry have been into me, I've always felt like the underbelly of it is, let's get out here and fuck them up. And I've always just kind of been like, I don't really know if I want that. Right. To be a part of my storyline like that.
You're a private person. Everybody thinks celebrities are just an open book, and there's not the case. You're an open book as an entertainer.
To a certain
extent. You're not
an
open book in your privacy. You have a private life, and you want to maintain some of your privacy. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm ready for the single called I'm the Chief. Anyway, next voicemail.
Hi, Keke. I need advice for a situation with my best friend. We've been friends for 15 years, and she has been in a string of shitty relationships. She's now dating this guy long distance, and he has never put in half of the energy or effort into their relationship that she does. And sometimes even when he comes to town to visit, he'll come for 5 days, and a day into his trip, his brother will come to town, and then he'll end up staying at a hotel with his brother and telling my friend, my brother doesn't like to meet new people, so we can't hang out the rest of the time I'm here. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. I've been honest with her about how this relationship is not healthy and not good for her, and she deserves better. But so far, she just continues to justify his behavior over and over and over again. Now we're at a point where she's considering moving to be with him next year when he's done with school and settling down somewhere for a job. And I'm just terrified that she's going to uproot her life and move somewhere new and then be heartbroken when he continues to not show up for her. So please help. What do I do? Thank you. Love you.
That's a tough one. I've seen that. I've seen that over and over again. My thing is, be a good friend, support her, pray for her, and try your best not to give her too much unsolicited advice. Because if she's not ready to hear it, you are wasting your time. Tell her the truth always. If she says, what do you think about me moving? Give it to her. Straight, no chaser. I love you, but this is how I feel.
Don't even hit her with the I love. I think when you make people think they have to feel a certain way when you do stuff like that. I think it's kind of like, hey, my opinion is if you're going to uproot your life, are you sure that you can be grounded there? I think you just got to ask yourself the pros and the cons of the situation. Like, I can't tell you, like, make it chill and cool. Not, I love you.
But you can't,
then somebody knows that you're
that would be my thing.
Judging them.
My thing is, that's how I would do it because I don't want to fight with you over your man. I don't want to fight with you over your situation. I do care for you, but how I honestly feel is that this guy isn't there for you. He doesn't show up for you. She's not seeing it.
Don't make it heavy. Yeah. Don't make it heavy. Don't make this life or death. You know what I mean? Yeah. Don't make it life or death. But because then that just creates a bad. I'm all about vibes and vibrations.
You're not going to change people when they have a certain
But you don't
mind.
have to.
Right.
You don't have to.
So I'm just trying to tell her how to save her relationship. Don't
be heavy on it.
If she wants to be friends with, she wants to keep her friendship. It sounds like this is bothering her. Like it's bothering the friendship.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Don't be heavy on it.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Or
Let it go, let it ride, because it's not even you. So like, let it go, let it ride. When she asks you, tell her, hey, the truth about it all, but don't stress about it. If she's stressed about it and she's coming to you with the stress about it, then you could say, babe, this is stressing me out, Miss Lady. And I feel like you still gonna rock with
It sounds like her friend isn't stressed out at all.
Right, and so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Don't you be stressed out. Don't you be stressed out, because you don't know what people like.
Right.
Some people like to chase.
Some women like to chase men.
Some people
They
like,
do.
you know what I mean? So she might really not want to be around him like that, and she's glad that brother's coming in. Who knows?
Yeah.
If she's not complaining to you, which I don't remember that girl telling us anything like that. Did she say that the girl
No,
complained?
and that's why I'm listening to it, and I'm saying is that her friend does not feel the way that she feels about the relationship.
So then relax.
So she need to. I mean,
Relax,
some
chill.
people like to control their friends. So she might be a controlling person. Is like, I can't be around you when you let him use you. Okay, well maybe you're not a friend, because I'm telling you, I've been there. I've seen this 100 times. You cannot control your friends, your daughters, your sisters.
I think you got to keep the vibes
relationships.
positive.
Yeah.
You got to keep the vibes positive and fun, because, life is short, and everything is really, if this man ain't no good and he's doing all this and that, girl, fuck him. And let's keep it moving.
And maybe,
you know what I mean?
by moving there, she'll
Right.
really
Go for
she'll
it.
really
Go
see.
for it.
Maybe
Yeah.
by moving there, the friend will see that this guy, if he isn't any good
I've
for her.
learned to be supportive. I learned to keep the good vibes right. I've learned as a friend that's the most comfortable place for me to be, because, as a Virgo, sometimes we can get really like tense on protecting the people in our lives, to the point where, we are doing the thing that we do to ourselves, which is we've thought about every scenario that could go wrong. And so I have to pull into my Sagittarius moon bag and say, you know what? Explore, experience, have fun. Now, if the person's not making you happy and every day you're complaining to me, then girl, you have to get up off this phone, Miss Lady. But if you're here for the ride, I'm here for the ride.
Well, I've learned from having 3 daughters and my husband telling me, stop telling them anything about what you would do. Listen to them, and if they're not asking your opinion, don't volunteer your opinion, because that's not your life. That's their life. Be there for
But
them.
if she
Listen
asks
to them.
her, if she asks her, I'm just saying keep
Yeah.
it light and keep it fun.
Yeah, because
like it don't have to be so like you are.
Yeah.
Everything don't have to be so heavy
people-
about relationships. It
Yeah.
don't. We're young. I mean, I actually don't know how
And
young
peop-
that
and
person
pe- and
is.
people-
But it's like everything's not so deep.
That's right.
I love getting into it with you guys. It was so much fun, Mom. Okay, now let's get into it with Yvonne.
Baby, this is Keke.
Okay, guys, I hope you're ready, because I just know this convo is going to be good, okay? You may know my next guest from Insecure or her hilarious book, Bamboozled by Jesus. Please welcome to the show, Yvonne Orji. Hey, girl, hey!
What you do, baby? Hi.
Yvonne, it is always good when I'm hanging with you, working with you, or just watching you. I mean, from your comedy specials to that amazing cameo that you just did in, oh my gosh, this movie is probably one of my favorite movies. Oh my gosh, the name is blanking on me. Written by Dwayne Perkins.
Blackening.
The Blackening. Anybody that's listening to this, I just need you guys to understand that The Blackening was absolutely one of the best movies. And I love seeing you in that opening scene. But you're amazing, and I'm so glad that you're on this show. Today we're talking about culture shock, and I'm, of course, excited to talk to you about this for many different reasons. But I want to take it back with you, because you moved from Nigeria to the U.S. at the age of like 6, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So what was that move like? I mean, tell me a little bit like what it's like, what part of Nigeria you're from, what was your home life like in Nigeria, and then what you remember coming to America, where you came to.
Yeah. So we grew up like, middle class in Nigeria. So we had a really good life. We would go to the little polo club, my brothers, my cousins, and we would swim. Like Nigeria was popping, like I'm a 83
Was
baby.
it city vibes? Like is it like giving me a New York vibe, or is it more of a Midwest vibe? Like what is the landscape from where
So
you're
it's
from?
more like if you're thinking a city, it's more like DMV
Oh,
city,
cool.
New York, right? Because like Lagos is the New York of Nigeria. It's crazy. It's the Tokyo.
Yeah.
of Nigeria. But I grew up in a place called Port Harcourt. Someone else who's from Port Harcourt is Mr. Burner Boy.
Come
So
on, Barney. You better flex for your city.
come on, I'm in Port Harcourt, yeah. And so I grew up. It was really chill, and it really does take a village. So, like, everybody was like at our house, driving us to school. Like, it was a very communal vibe because we would go to the village, and when we were, my dad is a chief. My grandfather was the king of our village, and so he's in a way which is
oh my
Igbo
gosh.
title.
So wait, what is the life for them? When you talk about a chief, when you talk about the king of it, like what does that look like in Nigeria? Like in where you're from, Pateko? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
So basically, it's an honorable title, and like if there were ever any disputes or anything like that, my grandfather would be the one to they would bring it to him. He would fairly, kind of almost like a mayor. He would fairly
got it.
Dispute it, and they would come to his oba. Maybe drink some palm wine. If there was anything the community needed or that needed to be handled, it would be either him or the other chiefs to figure it out. And then my dad, because we were leaving for America, he didn't want to take on that title because then he could legit never leave. So he took on a different chief title. So he's still very respected in the village, and it's always like we are away. He's granddaughters, and so when we go
y'all had that respect.
Yeah. So the first time I went back home after being in America for 6 years, there was I don't want to say a parade, but it was just there were some cows and goats that were slaughtered and dancing, and it was just a whole welcome committee. So I was like, why did we leave?
I know that's right. Okay. So you're 6 years old. Your parents decide they want to move to America. Must have always been the plan because your dad did. He knew early. Oh, it wasn't.
It wasn't the plan because what happened was because sometimes America has amnesia and they don't be understanding how immigrants got here. So there was a nursing shortage. There was a nursing shortage, and people were not trying to be nurses. And
wow.
And so that's why when you go to most hospitals, you will see African, predominantly Nigerian or Ghanaian, and Filipino nurses because that is where they recruited from. And
my gosh, I love this history.
Yes, but that's why every time you see a procedural that's in a hospital, you're like, where's the Jamaican nurse? Where's the Filipino nurse? Where's the Nigerian nurse? This is not realistic. Good and daggone well, it's got to be a Nigerian anesthesiologist. It's got to
come on.
Bad casting. Anyway,
okay.
I won't talk about that. But so anyway, my mom was like, I will gladly come. I think Howard University recruited her. So that's why we landed in DC, Maryland, Virginia area.
Come on, HU.
Hey, HU, And she was like, I'll come, but I got a family. So
right.
They were like, no problems. We will give you guys all visas. So that's how we got here.
Oh my gosh. So you guys came. And what was your first thought? You know what I'm saying? You landed on Plymouth Rock. No, I'm kidding. You came to America, and you're only 6 years old, right?
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think this looks so strangely different, or it looks similar, or I'm excited to be in America? What did you know about America at that point?
My mom came before us because she came to kind of lay the groundwork, get us an apartment, etc. So my dad brought us, and he brought us in November. Now, as people who are in warm climates all their lives, and then to come to DC in the dead of winter, I was like, at first it was cute. And, my mom had I still have this picture we had on our bubble jackets on with the hoodies.
Them bubble jackets are so cute.
Let me tell you, it was the kind of Eskimo jackets that you put on kids. They weren't trying to be cute. They weren't North Faces or nothing like that. They were legitimately just the bubble jackets for immigrant kids with the little muffin gloves. And so it was cute to play snowball fights. And then
of course,
it got cold, and I was like, this is for the birds. This is not what I do. And I remember being like, we're good on that. But then America was this thing that was hyped because it was just you would always hear of people who were leaving and going to America, and everyone thought here was going to be great. My dad, I think he picked up on stuff early. He was like, listen, I don't want to go to another man's land and
Okay.
be prejudiced against. I don't want to go to another
Yeah.
land and be relocated to service jobs. He was like, I got my own business. So I think he was hip to the life of a Black man in America, and he was like, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stay and set up culture, set up a house for us back here, so we can always have the best of both worlds.
So you guys were still able to go back and forth from America to Nigeria. So that he kind of kept a base there. Oh, that's so good.
He kept the base there, and it was good. Like I appreciate it. It's why I'm so connected to it. But at the same time, I'm like, as a woman and seeing my mom, it was definitely hard.
Yeah.
It was 4 of us. It was definitely like a sacrifice that they both had to make.
Right.
So but again, I am who I am because of good, bad, or
Yes, for
indifferent,
sure.
all of those sacrifices. And so it was really interesting because when you grew up in Nigeria, everyone's Black. Everyone is like
right. That was the next thing I was gonna ask. I mean, everybody's Black. That we're not considered a minority, obviously. But when you come to America, that's exactly what you are. Even if you're in a Black ass city like DC, you know what I mean?
Literally chocolate city. But here's the gotcha. I was bullied as a kid because I had a thick accent. When you come, like, baby, all I knew was Nigeria. So I was like, oh, hello.
It was so cute.
I was like, hello, how are you? And they were like, you're not from around these parts. You are not.
That's so cute.
Keke, I wish there were more young ladies like you that thought it was cute. The majority of the women's and the men's there were like, no, we're not gonna play with her. We definitely, because I was the youngest. So like my oldest brother, I think when we came, he was like 11 or 12. So nobody was really messing with him. And then my second brother, he was always like the handsome one. So all the girls were like trying to get with him.
Oh yeah, they was like, yeah, hey daddy.
Yeah. My third brother, he grew up to be a boxer. So that tells you everything you need to know. Like nobody was messing with him because he would, punch you in the face. I was the too thirsty one. I was like, oh my God, I want you guys to like me. And they were like, nah, we're not going to do that.
I was also very like that when I was a kid. But I remember I went to church. You just made me think about, and I need to know what country she was actually from. But I had a lady in our church who came to America from Africa. And it was so, she had an accent. I don't know if... I wish maybe you can tell by the accent, but she would have like, Mary, come on, Mary, we're gonna, like, her accent was so funny to us in church, and we would always kind of like make fun, but it was sweet. Like she would laugh and everything like that. And her daughter's name was Mary, and Mary did also have a very light accent. I gotta ask my mom where Mary was from, where they was from.
That accent sounded Caribbean. That accent you just hit me was sounded Caribbean.
See, now that's why I'm not good, because she was not from the Caribbean. I gotta get my accents right.
Because they were also recruiting from the Caribbean, so there's a lot of Caribbean nurses as well. So that's Mary could have been from,
Okay, so you're in America, you're having troubles in the school. Yes. You're in a Black area, but you notice even though you're in an area, this, DMV, DC, this is Chocolate City, so you're, around Black people, the Black people are different. How would you describe the Black culture in Nigeria, where you're specifically from, and the Black culture you were introduced to in DC? What was, aside from the language and your dialect, what else did you feel like, this is different?
I think, what's funny is there's so many similarities, right?
I would love to hear that too.
Yes, because we love a good dress. We love a good dress down.
Yes.
Like Nigerians will dress you out of a house and a home. Maybe let me tell you right now, matching top and bottom. Okay, back shoe and bag. Like we will match with Gucci down to the socks, fresh to death. So the same way that like Americans pride themselves on the style and all of that.
Yeah.
We have that from a young age. I mean, like when you're younger, you got the immigrant, like whatever your parents put on you is what you wear. But then when you grow older, you like, I am not wearing these tights no damn more. Okay, I'm telling you right now, I have a aversion to tights, stockings.
Oh my gosh, girl, that Easter, Christmas, any of that, you always had to have some type of stocking on with them little belted little shoes with the little baby heel on them, honey.
I don't desire it. With the little strap that goes. I feel like it's bondage.
Yes.
It's bondage. I remember a picture with a thick white hair. I was like, why would you even put white white stockings on me, mama. Anyway,
Hilarious.
triggers and traumas. But then it was so funny because we also would get like, you know, shows like Cops or, you know, what we saw of Black America was from TV like BET. And so, or like reality stuff later on.
Yeah,
And
not
so
a
then
lot of nuance.
yeah, so there was a stigma of like, when you go to America, please do not, whatever they are doing, do not do that because we don't want to see you in jail. We don't want to see you, you know, disrespecting or bringing shame to your family. Because like, we were still like, don't air your dirty laundry, and then you're watching different shows on like these networks, and it's
People
just
on
like
Maury and Jerry Springer. Yeah, you're like, oh no, child. The black
and
folks
it's
over there, they got it twisted.
There was no nuance. So we're just like, so everybody a baby mama, everybody is, you are the father, or so it was very much like when you go to America, go to school, get straight A's, and that's it. Like, don't do nothing else.
I'm curious if they ever speak of, when you're talking to that side of your family, when it comes to America and Black history, is that ever a part of the conversation, like of, the storyline? Like, how is that, when it comes to diaspora, how is that explained or understood?
I think it's mostly
from the outside looking in. I'm curious.
It's mostly from the, again, I only know my experience. It is mostly from the Nigerian Americans that are in America. Like, that's when we get the history, right? In terms of like truly understanding the Black plight, truly understanding the inroads that were made. Because I mean, if we're being honest, we don't even get a whole bunch of like Nigerian history, like in Nigeria.
Wow, okay.
School. So I don't know what they teach beyond that in terms of like even the slave trade or the Biafran War. Like, that was like a touchy subject for us. So I don't even know if they really teach all of those histories, let alone like American history.
Yeah, but I just know, obviously, as an American, I'm just, my life is just, here. I've always been curious as to, damn, what do other people think, especially when I think about Africa. What do they think? What do they, what do they understand about? Because we're so Western, and Black American is its own thing within, it has its own identity, and it always is so, oversaturated with the superficial stuff. No one's ever talking about the things that we're overcoming, or the beauty that we found within it, or the self-expression, or the blah, 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 blah. And I know a lot of times when people see it, it's kind of like it's told literally, or we are sympathized with from an oppressive point of view.
I mean, if you think about what we learn about Black American culture here, it's not a lot. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a lot here. And even now you have some states who are trying to wipe even that out.
Make it even smaller. Yeah. Yeah.
And so,
and it always puts us in this position of looking so victimized. Not that we haven't experienced that, right? But I don't see myself as a victim. And I have so much pride, in my history here, even with the oppression that my people have experienced. And so I feel like it's so interesting that I think some of it's changing. When we talk about the Black diaspora, I think on Twitter, a lot of people are talking. Apparently, I remind people of a Yoruba woman. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but I'm here for it.
Yoruba is a tribe, and also a religion. Like it's a group of people. So, like in Nigeria, there is Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, amongst many other tribes, right?
Yes.
So those are like the top three. There's Hausa as well. I think I said that.
Yes, they all say I remind them of a Yoruba girl, and I'm here for this. I love this because yes. And so I love that, again, Blackness, it has many different faces. Even when I went to Berlin for the first time, I really was like, okay, wow. So I'm we're all Black, but we ain't the same just because our skin is Black. You know what I'm saying? Like, I met Black Italians, Black, people that was French, and they were like, no, I'm French, or I am German, and that really was a big culture shock for me, because I really assumed, because I was in America, and America, sometimes if you don't leave, which a lot of people don't, you think everything is just based off of what you know here, and it really
It's
It's
not.
weird, right? Because in America, they make you feel like as a black person so often, like, you're not really from here, motherfucker. And it's like, but everyone else that looks at you knows that you are American. You know,
Yeah.
like you are,
Yeah.
this is your nation. But everywhere, you know what I mean? Everywhere else, they're like, oh yeah, you're American. But when you're here, they're like, you need to go. It's such a weird thing.
It is, but it's the same thing that most immigrants experience, right? Like, so for me as a Nigerian American, I identify as that. But then when I go back to Nigeria, it's just like, you're from Yankee. I'm like, Yankee is what they call America, like Yankee Doodle. So they're like, you're from Yankee, and I'm like, first of all, I am Nigerian.
I'm from both.
And then, yes, exactly. And I said I'm from Nigeria. I was like, I'm Nigerian American. And then when I am here, it's kind of like, wait, what's your last name? Oh, where you from? You know, so it's just now it's cool because like everybody want to go back to Ghana. Everybody want to be Afrocentric.
Oh, come on, yeah, Ghana go home. Yes, child. Everybody's like, let me go to Ghana, please.
It's cool now, and everybody's getting their, 23andMe or the African ancestry. It's like, I am 30%, blah, 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 blah. Now it's cool. But there was a time when it was just like, you're not from right here. Like, we don't really rock with you or whatever. Now it's like, oh my God, I got a Nigerian friend or my one friend from Ghana or whatever. And
no, it was definitely touchy. It was definitely touchy. When you was a kid, if you were African, they would do the whole African booty scratching bullshit. You know what I mean?
As if we the only ones that ever scratched our booties. Like,
your
Keke, you never
booty. Like, why did that happen? I can scratch my booty. Like, girl, we are, it's like, I don't know why everybody was doing that. It was crazy. And then as time went on, people are like, oh, well, and so that's why I love that we have these conversations, because really, I think it came from a lack of, like you said, there's not a lot of information there. People want to create dissension when it comes to sometimes the Black diaspora. Like, it's like, there's so many different reasons as to why, we could go on why there's not that communication. But I will say, of all the annoying things that social media can do, I do feel like it was positive in helping to bridge some of those gaps and connect people across the world to see similarities even more so than they've seen differences. You know what I'm saying?
I think so. I think that now you do also have intermarrying, right? If you went to school out here, like, you have different people marrying different folks from other countries. And so it's just like, oh, you have this African-American woman marrying this guy from Zimbabwe, or this, Ethiopian woman marrying the guy from Chicago. Like, so it's just like, and so now it's like the diaspora is it's almost kind of like reclaiming itself in a way.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I love hearing you say that. Yeah, the reclaiming itself, because that's a beautiful, very beautiful thing to get back in touch and to share that lineage. So what are some of your favorite places to visit?
Man, I met somebody recently that said that they had never left America and they were looking to take their first international trip. And my heart really went out to them, because I'm just like, it's like I recognize my privilege in that moment. Like, I literally have had 2 passports for as long as I can remember. You know what I mean? And so it's like the ability to have the whole ECOWAS, which is basically ECOWAS allows you to go to all the countries in West Africa, right, that are part of that. And then to have the American passport, which obviously allows you to go a lot of places without a visa. And so it's like, my parents raised us very globally minded. And so for me, I'm like, man, I've been to Thailand, and I'm like, oh, take me back. I've been to Croatia. Croatia was lovely. I also like going to places where
Croatia is one of the best places ever. You said you love going places that you what?
They don't think Black people should be. Or like they don't see a lot of people. Like,
definitely didn't see nobody in Croatia, child. Okay.
Look, I went with
Croatia was absolutely beautiful.
It was beautiful. I went with a group of 21 Black people, and they, like, people were stopping us like, is this a wedding? Are you guys here?
Okay. Literally, they were shocked and gagged and gooped. For sure.
Listen, let me say right now, all different shades of Black, and it was the day we had on all white. We had an all white party, and I went with Passport Heavy, Jabril, shout out to him. People were like, oh my God, who's getting married? Where's the bridal party? We were like, nah, man, we just Black people with, funds and assets, and we are enjoying these funds.
Yes, assets. I'm here for the assets. I felt that same way when I went to Vienna once. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
See, now I thought I was gonna get married in Italy. I thought that, because I heard the rumors of like they love, black women. Ever since you watched Love and Basketball, it was like, remember
yes.
that Sidra and Monica
Mhm.
was a dinner. She's like, they love us over here. And I was like, I can't wait to go to Italy.
Exactly, and they lie. They asses lie. Because I've been
I'm
to
sure
Italy. I wouldn't hit on.
Maybe we need to go to Sicily. I don't know, but in Florence, it wasn't that.
It wasn't given. It wasn't given. So why do you think we experience culture shock? Like when you think of the word culture shock, where do you think it comes from?
I mean, I think if you're not exposed to how different people live, like for me, like, in college, I majored in sociology because I like to understand why people do what they do. And then I got my master's in public health because I think in order to treat a community, you also have to understand what are their barriers to treatment and also how are they most receptive to messages. So it is that thing of like when you understand, why if you're disseminating mosquito nets and you're in a rural village and somebody uses the mosquito net to make a veil or like a train on a wedding gown, you're not like, why would they do that? You're like, well, you gave them free material, okay? And so we now need to understand, like, you don't have to be so shocked. Again, culture shock. You can understand what the elements that would make them, first of all, that's hella resourceful. Let's just stop there.
Right.
That's hella resourceful. And then second of all, it's like, great, we just need more information. We need to tell them it is more beneficial for them to not get malaria than to use this thing one time for a wedding or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's like, we just need to we meet them where they are. So culture shock is that thing of like, oh man, I either always thought my culture was superior, or I always thought,
right. I think that's true.
Exactly. Americans have that like, we're Americans. And it's like, yeah, but like I'll never forget when I went to the Dominican Republic, which I loved. I studied there. And for 2 months, we broke every day from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Every day. You had to come back, leave school, leave work, and you go to your host family's house, eat lunch, have dinner, play game, or have lunch, take a nap, play games, and then like at 3:00, you got to be back at school. That right there, I was like, why don't we do this in America? Because the day still ended at 6. You know what I mean? So
that sounds amazing.
It's fantastic because you're more productive. You're rested. You have family time. Like it's a built-in society of like, hey, even if we don't like each other's family, we're gonna break bread every day and we're gonna figure this thing out. And it's like that is something that I don't think a lot of Americans, if they've never experienced that, they don't even know that that's a possibility. They don't even know that exists or how it works.
Baby, this is Keke Palmer, yeah.
I love what you're speaking to when you talk about, like, again, society, right? Because I think it is inbred in us in America to believe that we do everything right and our way is the right way because we have the best resources and we have the most knowledge and we have So when you do go to other countries and you see how other countries are doing things, and you're open to it, it allows you to say, okay, you know what? I do fuck with that. Or this actually is a cool, different way. Or I wish we could add something like that. Okay, maybe, we do some stuff that we would like, but then, hey, I sure wish we did have free health care. And I sure wish that what Canada's doing when it comes to them universities, I think we could use some of that. It allows you to see and realize and appreciate the way other people do things. And like you were saying, like, it's also like preconceived notions, or even like I was saying, stereotypes. Like you sometimes believe the stereotypes that have been taught to you, or the idea that, oh, this is what this is. This is what this always is. And like I'm saying, for me, when I left America for the first few times and I went somewhere else, my culture shock came from the realization that, like, oh yeah, that is my culture and this is something different. And even though I look the same as someone, we have totally different cultures. That concept was really, you know what I mean? It's interesting how if you never leave America, which I think is, more people, we got to get more people to just move around the world over on this side. It really helps.
I think culture shock isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think it is basically it should be culture awareness, right? As opposed to shock. Because I know for a long time, people thought Africa was huts and mud and all of that.
Girl,
and then and I'm like, which Africa y'all at? Because the one I go to, it's Bentleys and Porsches and Range Rovers. Like, I mean, listen, yes, there is poverty, but that's not all of Africa. Like, you know what I mean? And I haven't even gone to every country in Africa or they were just like, oh yeah, the safaris. I was like, don't come to Nigeria looking for a safari. It ain't here because that's not what we
Right.
do. So it's just like this notion of
Mm-hmm.
breaking what, like you said, your preconceived notions, what you expected, what you anticipated, and then actually experiencing it for yourself, and also recognizing that everywhere is not the same. Like, just like if you came to America, your experience in Louisiana is going to be different than your experience in, you know what I'm saying, like in Chicago or in,
So true, man. That is so true. It is so true.
you can have
I
culture
love
shock
that about us.
in America, because it's just like, I ain't never been to like Mississippi heavy, but I feel like Mississippi is very different than Maryland.
Oh, trust me, it is. It's very, very different. I remember I had a little culture shock when I first came to California, being from Chicago. Like, I'm like, why they grass nicely cut in the hood? Like, that's one thing about the hoods in California, is like the hoods look good. Okay? It's like they using them tax dollars correctly. Everybody grass cut. The house look good. And everybody would be saying, why you talk like that? Why you talk like that? And I'm like, I don't know how I sound. Like, they would be saying I sounded country. And I was like, really? You know what I'm saying? I remember thinking, why every time I'm at a black person's house, they making tacos? Why do they think they Mexican out here in California? Me and my family were always like, they don't never make, the black people here don't never make no soul food. They always got Taco Tuesday. What's going on? It's so funny though, because it's literally culture and what everybody's surrounded by. And it's so different. But I remember me and my family was like, this is very different because in Chicago, in Illinois, everything is so segregated. The black people is over here. The Polish people is over here. The Welsh people are over here. The Irish people are over here. The Jewish people are, like, everything. Even the white people is segregated in between with their individual cultures. So it was not, it was so different when I came to California and just kind of seeing how everything was a little bit more melded. Like, I think, so many mixed raced people, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was so different, and we were like, wow. And it was so, I remember telling my mom or somebody, like, in all the books I saw about California, they did not show the Latin community like they were supposed to. Because you'll see a resort picture of come to California. It ain't nothing but blonde hair, blue eyes. When you actually come, it's like Selena. Hola, Selena's Dinos. I'm like, why y'all ain't represent California, right? Y'all know what's good over here. And so that was also a culture, you know what I mean? That was also a culture shock. But it was cool, right? Because, I mean, like you said, it should be called cultural awareness, because when you actually do get that, whoa, you actually see that difference, it really makes your life so much richer. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Okay, Yvonne. I love talking about this with you. But before we go, we always end the podcast with a fun little game. And today we're going to play Quickies with Keke. Okay, I'm going to give you 5 rapid fire style questions, and you got to answer as quickly as you can. Are you ready?
Okay, 5 rapid. Okay, Quickies with Keke. Okay. I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. Would you rather have dinner with Michelle Obama or Oprah?
Both.
You got to pick one. That's the problem.
I've met Oprah, so I'm gonna say Michelle Obama.
Okay, and what you gonna ask her?
So when his car didn't have a floor, what about you said, I'm gonna stick by his side?
Everybody wants to ask Michelle that. Okay, which food would you rather eat on repeat forever? Now I'm gonna pronounce this incorrectly. Please don't laugh at me. Suya or ogbono soup?
Ooh, suya or ogbono soup. The G is silent. Ogbono soup.
Ogbono soup.
Oh man, suya is fire, but ogbono soup make correct. Now, wow, yes, you just have to with the little. You just put your hand like this and my dad make my. That's ogbono soup. So I'm gonna say my daddy's ogbono soup.
Ooh, yes, child. Okay, I need to have some of that. What's in that, by the way? Like, what is it?
Man, so a butter like melon seeds. So I think don't give me the line because I don't cook, but I do eat. I don't know really. If I'm being honest, I'm like,
is it meat? Is there meat in there?
Oh yeah, no. I would eat it with like goat or beef, sometimes chicken. It's like
Is it red?
drawn
Is it
like
green?
okra. It's red because there's palm oil in it. It's goodness. It's goodness and mercy,
I'm
baby.
gonna have to get up in there in your daddy's food. Okay.
You gotta go to
Now,
Veronica's Kitchen because in LA, because Veronica's Kitchen, she be
it's
told
good.
out. Oh, it's fantastic. It's the place where I get my Nigerian food from.
Done. I'm doing it. Okay, we've all had some crazy jobs. Would you rather host a baby shower or host a funeral?
A baby shower, because the funeral, depending on how the person went, because I've hosted both, and depending on how the person went, and if they're still like grieving or mourning, if it's kind of like a celebration, like they lived a long life, then yes, I can be like,
Why are you crying? We are here. We are celebrating. Everybody get up. Shout for their life.
but if it was under bad circumstances, I won't be a part of that. So I'll say a baby shower.
I love a baby shower. That's a lot of fun. A lot of nice meatballs, child. Okay, which would you rather give up, tennis or massages?
Oh, dang it. Y'all really did your research on me because I love them both. I think
that's so cool that you love tennis. No wonder your body is so like lit.
Wait, do you love tennis?
Girl, I'm willing to try if you want to help me. I feel like it's a lot of running around, Miss Lady. I feel like that is a very tiring sport, no? All you doing is running around.
Miss Lady one more time, I will shut this meeting down.
I don't know why Miss Lady. My niece is literally 5 years old, and I said, "What you need, Miss Lady?" Like, why am I telling Miss Lady to her? Why am I saying Miss Lady?
Why are you driving Miss Daisy? You're not that old. Please stop it. You're not. Okay, I live for a massage. A deep tissue with a hot stone. That is my jam. I love but yeah, I can't give it. Somebody touching me, especially like, if you have the right partner and they're touching all your like tension spots, marry me already.
Just marry me. Okay, which field of medicine would you rather practice? Pediatrics or dermatology? I know you originally were thinking about becoming a doctor, so that's why.
Yes, I was going to be an OBGYN. Whoo, child. Thank God.
Come on, ready? Look at cooches. I'm here for it.
Oh yes, I was not equipped. The Lord did that. Like I was like, I like that. That's the.
I would have to really work hard on my expression because I'm a very we all know I'm a very expressive person. If Miss Mama was down there and she ain't got the weed whacker in a minute, I'd be like, "Oh God, girl." What's going on there? I started talking to the people like, whoop, Miss Lady. I do know a wax person if you ever interested. Because I think that's why you got some of these little mumps and bumps, girl.
Not the mumps and bumps. First of all, Keke would be the only OBGYN that has a salon spa, right? Like adjacent or like.
And you better talk about it. We got exactly what you need to get rid of this hyperpigmentation. Nobody wants that. I got you. When you leave, go into the blah, 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 blah. Ooh, I do see that one of the...
Unless you're coming for a pap smear and leaving with a facial. Not just like, wait a minute.
Okay. I'm actually here for that. Somebody needs to hear this and pick this up.
Anyway. And I was like, actually, who's the somebody? I'm a Nigerian. That's already trademarked. Okay. The realtor is at the location now. Okay. It's a twofer.
Literally.
We call it twofer. Okay. I would say I don't want to dermatology. No, I would say pediatrics. Yvonne love the kids.
Come on, the kids are everything. Okay, which song would you rather have a first dance to if you were to get married? Just the Way You Are by Bruno Mars or The Way You Look Tonight by Frank Sinatra? I know you used to MC weddings.
What's so funny about this is I actually had Just the Way You Are on repeat the other day when I was like really in my feelings, and I had to encourage myself, and I had Bruno Mars playing back to back to back for like a solid hour. Just the way you are.
I love how even if you're in a somber mood, you're still upbeat. Like that, like the fact that it would be just the way you are is like, it has such a sentimental, like, to your heart vibe, but at the same time, it's like, get up and dance, get up and dance. My song would be
what?
John Legend. Baby, tonight's the night I'll let you know. Why does he always overanalyze it? Next time the breaststroke, cigarette smoke. I don't know why he sings like that. It's so good though, Yvonne.
Well, you add a snarl. You add an Elvis snarl. So I will say that particular song is on my wedding night playlist because I do have one of those. But are you up on Teeks? The artist
Teeks.
Oh,
Who's Teeks, babe?
Look up Teeks, and the song is called First Time. Baby!
Okay, Teeks. First time?
Yes. Ooh.
Very serious.
Oh.
Teeks sounds very serious. Like he's very.
He sounds like he's about to put a baby in me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh my gosh. Wait a minute, guys. Teeks looks nothing how I expected Teeks to look. Guys, why does Teeks look like he's about to run the next scan on your computer at Freaks and Geeks? Teeks does not look. Now, girl, where the hell is Teeks from? Looking like Teeks don't. Girl, I'm shocked at Teeks. Now
First
this,
he can
wow.
hear you. He can hear you. This is an inside conversation. No, but you got to look on his Instagram. I think he has better pictures on his Instagram.
But I actually thought that Teeks was a black man.
I think he might be. He got some kind of soul. He has to have.
He's from New Zealand. He from New Zealand.
Well, you know what? Maybe he's Samoan because they got Samoans out there ready. That's my next move.
Yeah, because honey, I could have sworn that Teeks literally looked like Morris Chestnut.
He does not.
No, he don't. Wow, Teeks, you better go ahead and sing and let these people know. Love that for you.
You know who
now
else
Teeks is gonna be added to my space list. You know what I'm talking about. My playlist.
Yes, not my space list.
My space list, bitch. I'm in space.
On my space, ma'am.
Well, Yvonne, I love you just the way you are, and I thank you for coming on the show. You're amazing, and I love to see you soon.
Yes, I appreciate you, and make sure y'all cop Bamboozled by Jesus. How God tricked me.
Period.
My dreams.
Every day. Every day.
Bye, boo.
Bye, boo. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you guys for coming with me today. I mean, I just love the time that we get to spend together here. Always more to come. Stay tuned because you know it's your girl.
Baby, this is Keke. Baby, this is Keke.